Hi guys, I just want to say a massive thank you to L'Oreal and Redken for sponsoring this video because it wouldn't be possible without you.
Show the gorgeous Jemima Cousins, Deputy Editor of Black Beauty and Hair. How are you, Jemima? Shall we all have a little shuffle along? Let's have a little shuffle along there. Get yourself comfy. How you found it? You been sitting around enjoying it?
Yeah, I've been taking in the show and listening to what you guys have to say, and really excited to be here.
So come on, before we get into it, give us a heads up on you, Jemima.
On me, well, I'm the Deputy Editor at Black Beauty and Hair magazine.
I'll tell you what, can we all just
got a cue,
look,
yeah.
YouTube, I'm not going to lie to you, I'd like to make out we all just know, but we've got a guy standing over here going, so should we have a shuffle over? There we go, I'm okay.
Okay.
Yeah, we all okay? Yeah, good. Okay. So, yes, so you're
I was just saying I'm the Deputy Editor at Black Beauty and Hair. I've been there for, drum roll, 10 years.
10 years! That is a decade.
Well, you know what? I love what I do. No day's the same. And with Afro hair, there's just always something new going on, you know, and I'm just totally obsessed with everything related to Afro black hair.
You have gorgeous hair.
Thank you.
Really, don't we?
Well, again, should we have another drum roll? It's a full wig. Yeah. Honestly, like the innovation on what we do with our hair.
Way.
is
Look
just
at that
amazing.
camera.
I mean,
How good does that look?
Yeah. No.
Do you mix it up a lot with wigs then?
I do, yes. So it's funny because when we see each other, I think I've got a different hairstyle.
Yeah. I haven't, but you have.
So yeah, I mean, it's just what you guys were saying before about you know what your hair means to you, and yeah, the joys of wearing a wig. It's not like how it was, you know, 20 years ago, where it was like, you know, a toupee plonked on your head. I mean, now it looks so natural, it looks so flawless, it looks so seamless.
And the funny thing is, even it's not just in black hair, so like wigs are so common now.
That's it.
Yeah.
So, and again, it just allows you to express yourself differently.
Exactly.
So, yeah, there are days where I want to have these big lush curls, tap into my, I don't know, Beyonce, and then the other day I feel
Is there a reason maybe why black women do embrace wigs? More so than I'd say Caucasian.
Yeah, there's a couple of reasons. So it's deemed as a protective style. So it's a good option to have when you want to give your hair a rest from, be it relaxing or braiding. Having the hair tucked away, again, as I say, it gives it a rest, it rests the follicles, and at the same time you've got a gorgeous style. You're not having to walk around with a look that, you know, you're not so comfortable with. And in fact, it can even chime in with your everyday look. So as I said, if you relax your hair and you normally wear it straight, you know, you can still wear a straight wig and go into the office and continue that same look, and no one will be none the wiser. Another reason is a lot of women do suffer from traction alopecia. Again, that's something that is caused by tight styles, things again that
Do you think that's really common because in the past it's not been that popular to wear your hair naturally? It always kind of has, you either have to wear braids or wigs or something like that. It's kind of like you're trying to hide it.
Yeah, and it boils down to bad practice as well. So with the relaxing, I mean, it's sort of recommended that you do it every 8 weeks. If you can stretch it out, maybe even longer.
8 weeks.
How does relaxing work? I'm going to show my ignorance.
Oh, well, I'm not a trained stylist,
but let's get that one over, because you are going to see Jemima doing a style challenge, and she's not a trained hairdresser. Okay, so sorry. So you were just going to say, you know,
relaxing. So it's a chemical using sodium hydroxide, which alters the curl pattern in the hair permanently. So
permanently being how long permanently? In
the sense that permanently, once the bonds in the hair have broken and the hair is straight, you can't get it back to curly. If you wanted to, you'd have to cut your hair.
Wow.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, it's a chemical.
So it's not good for your hair.
It's not.
Have you experienced any real problems with hair loss? Any of these things that you talked about earlier?
Not personally. I ran into an issue, I have to say, when I did have relaxed hair, and it was healthy. So I was going to say, you can, guys, you can have healthy, relaxed hair. You can. So yeah, I was relaxing. I was getting on fine with it, and then there was the explosion of the Brazilian keratin blow dry. So me and myself, like, hey, I want to get on board with this. Took myself along to a salon with my relaxed hair.
Not in Rio by any chance. That would have been wonderful. I'll go to Rio and have this done.
No. Took myself to what happened? They put the keratin treatment on top. Must have ran the straighteners through it 7 times.
Yeah, you really have to go so slowly as well, in the hottest temperature.
And again, with my hair being relaxed, the bonds were already, broken. Yeah. And guys, honestly, that whole selling point of, oh, you can wash your hair, it's more manageable, it cuts down on blow drying time. Wow. When I washed my hair for the first time, it was loxing. Like, it was bad.
Really?
Yeah, it
and
was.
What did you do to rectify?
I cried. And I got on the phone I mean, thank
What was
God.
so bad? What was it? What was it with the hair?
So my hair was clumping together in the shower. Yeah. And again, without getting too technical, it's like the ends of my hair were relaxed and the roots were natural. So it went curly and then to this dead, stringy rat tail just hanging.
Did you cut it off?
Surprisingly, I didn't.
Oh wow!
Yeah. I've got the thank you.
How did you work your way around that then?
So yeah, as I said, in a panic, I called. Luckily, I've got hairdressers on speed dial.
You're so lucky.
Yeah, well, your job position
All the
probably does have
connections.
those benefits.
I mean, anybody else, it was horrific.
And was that an Afro specialist salon or?
So I have to say, I got the Brazilian done in a European salon. And when I was in that moment of crisis, I went to an Afro.
So this brings us on to our next topic of conversation, which we are itching to talk to you about. Would you say it's true that there is a huge gap and a separation in terms of Caucasian hair and Afro hair? And if so, what do you think are the solutions?
Yeah, I think, considering we're in 2018, I think there is still much a gap, and I think there's a lot that we can do to
How can we change it?
build the bridge. Oh gosh, I mean, one thing I think salons need to do is, talk to women of colour, and by that I mean, even in the shop front, you can have, you've got your beautiful pictures. Why not have a model with a beautiful blow dry or Afro hair? Because that just subtly says to the person walking by, like, hey, we do.
I've noticed so many at my salon, because I know at so many salons they won't actually do Afro hair. I know so many people come to me and they say, oh, do you colour our hair? And I'm like, what? Of course I do.
Right.
But it's so horrible that people walk past and just think.
Why is it that we, we're frightened of doing black hair? What is it?
But it's just,
is it the texture?
Yeah,
is it the product?
it's got a bad rep, sadly, that I think is considered other.
Because we shouldn't be having this conversation, really, should we?
100%. It's looked upon as difficult to manage. Again, like through work, I have the luxury of having complimentary treatments, and when the PR drop in the email to me, would you like to go to this salon, have your hair blow dried, and I have to ask, is there an Afro stylist? And it's like, let's get back to you. You've got to wait 48 hours, for a response.
Is there though? Because I know when I interviewed Michelle Thompson, and she was wonderful to talk to about curl, texture. I love her because I think she's really got that balance right of that sort of European Caucasian hair, black hair. She's really brought the two together.
Well, and what I like about what Michelle's doing is she's calling it texture opposed to Afro, which again
is that a taboo? Afro? Are you using the word Afro?
No, it's not a taboo, but maybe it's. I don't want to say it's unfashionable. It's not. It's a term to describe.
Is it because we associate with that sort of 70s, that big Afro hair?
Well, no, but I just think we're crossing over more because, without sort of getting too factual, but you know, mixed race is the fastest growing population now.
And trends, as we were talking about with James, and again that Weller trend evening, the amazing Zoe Owen was saying about. You know,
well, there's so many types of textured hair because, like, you know,
That's
when
it.
you actually start to understand it, there's so many different. There's 4 curl types, aren't there?
That's right.
And
yes.
Your 4C, 3C.
Wow.
Yeah. So
the hair
Yeah,
type.
that's
I
right.
would
Again,
say,
I
I would
was
say
sort of
my
learning
salon,
about
we have a stylist in our salon that shy away from curly hair, not from afro, not from textured, not from Black Caribbean. It's just curly hair. So when they get a client who has curly hair, it's that phenomenon. And do you know what? I actually respect people who can say, I can't cut curly hair. I just don't know how to style it. Because at least, you know, they're
how do you cut it? I mean, I'm just asking a question that maybe some people are watching. How do you cut black, curly, textured hair? Is it dry? Is it washed? Is it stretched out with a comb?
Depends.
Well, again, at the end of the day, the point is that it is hair, and you treat it like hair. It ain't gonna jump out and, you know, slap you in the face or anything.
It might spring up if you stretch it down too far. Whether it's black or white or curly hair, because there is a different art. That's what I'm just saying.
I mean, for sure. Because
when you've got
there are different disciplines, and again, this is where I find it interesting in the way of, you know, I spoke to a junior, and you know, she's doing a hairdressing course, and she said the afro is just a module. You know, a 6 weeks module that, you know, that's hardly anything. There is a lot to learn, there is a lot to factor in, and I do think it is a shame that there isn't a qualification.
Yeah, I never learned it. When I was doing my MVQ, I never learned
So that's what's got to happen, isn't it?
Yeah.
Simple.
So,
Really?
and that's
the root
passing on
issue,
into the
isn't it?
salon, so like, as you were saying.
Look, I'm going to put it out there, and if I sound controversial, I don't mean to be, but do black women, black guys, will they have a problem going to maybe a European Caucasian sort of hairstyle salon?
Do you know what? Yes, somewhat. Because like anything, if you're going to walk through the doors and it's like, hi, hello, do you do afro hair? And someone's standing in front of you and they've got no confidence whatsoever.
Absolutely.
And they're and they're ahhing, and you can see the fear on their face, then of course not.
Yeah,
of course you're not going to trust them.
And there's a
Or
different
you're gonna
vibe
put
in that
up
more
with them.
traditional sort of black hair salon, isn't it? The
Yeah.
music going. Would I be wrong in saying that in the years gone by?
There's definitely a different culture and different environments going on. Some are better than others.
But it's that community, isn't it? Because I think the black community, I think, is what, you know, has always been really come together. And
Well, yeah, I mean, hair, that's, you know, again, this is what I love about doing my job, is that it really does bring us together. There's just something so lovely in that you can be in a room and you can just cross over to a lady and compliment her hair, be genuine, of course, and straight away you connect. And you can stand there and you can have a conversation, exchange tales, exchange, you know, what you're doing. And so, yeah, it's a nice way.
But at the end of the day, it should all just be coming together.
It is.
It shouldn't be black or
It's
white.
needed, isn't it? I think, it's long
How about you as a magazine then? I mean, how about you as a magazine? I mean, what's your take on, you know, that sort of, you just specialise in black hair? I mean,
We do. I mean, again, if you can imagine, 30 years ago, there was nothing like Black Beauty and Hair, you know, out there. You know, none of the print magazines were talking to women of colour, so it was important that, you know, something was made that addressed what was going on with our hair.
Can we got a little magazine just down here?
Sure.
Let's have a look. Let's give that. There we are. That's a magazine, you know, and it's and I think the imagery has just changed so much, hasn't it?
I mean, it's sort of twofold, where we give Afro hairdressers a platform to showcase their work.
Yeah, something that they don't have in like the greater hairdressing community.
Again, that's it. So you get some really fantastic Afro
We should be seeing all this, though. More of it. You know, I just still think it's too divided, and that's the big
I
problem.
remember the thing that always stuck out for me, because I go to these industry events all the time. We always go into hairdressing, and I think Dom was there, and we had, I don't know, I was at the GHG studios the first time I met you, and I remember thinking, wow, like, because that's why I came up and spoke to you, because there's not I don't usually see any people representing any sort of black hair at these events.
And I remember that conversation, and it is like, it does frustrate me, because I mean, in the UK alone, I think the Afro hair industry is worth £88 million. and for European salons to, you know, not be tapping
Disregard.
into. I mean, we only have to look at Fenty Beauty. You know, Rihanna, she brought out the 40 shades of foundation, and that kind of put diversity on the map. And the same's needed with hair
And like, we're using the same techniques as well now, especially with like wigs and colouring and stuff like that and braiding.
And ultimately, though, black culture is the super culture. You know, when you look at, you know, I look at my lads, they look to black culture. It's music, fashion comes from black
That's a good point.
culture.
And so again, it's like somebody or we, by us even having this conversation, like, you need to take the initiative to drive it forward. Again, no one is tapping into it. And you're right, even working with the magazine, it's like, for as much as we look at trends, I say Afro hair, we're in a bubble because, man, we've been doing trends since forever. The braids, the weaves, like, it's nothing new, guys. Box braids, like...
It's just sort of moving on. But I actually think the whole wig market, and I know just sort of looking down here, you've got, what you've got going on down here?
I brought a little friend along. So this, guys, this is a closure. That's what you call a closure.
So what does that do?
I don't know if you want to pass it down.
Wow.
So as you can see, it's a little patch of hair that has hair extensions attached to it. And it gives you a flawless blend.
God damn it,
Like
nicely demonstrated on Dom. So
that would sit like there.
And
with this, you don't have to. Yeah, so it mimics
I don't want
a
to mock
scalp.
this, by the way, but you just feel very awkward putting a wig on a bald man's head. But, no, it's amazing though. So
Yeah, no. So the idea with a closure is it mimics a scalp. So you've got this mesh base, which is either lace or silk.
Is there a difference between the lace and the silk?
Yeah, silk is kinder to the hair, and it's just a preference thing as well, because it seems to, I find it lays flatter. But something like this, in the way of price, it can range anywhere between £30 to maybe £200.
And how many would you need of that on a full? Yeah, do you
Right.
have
So
to put lots
with
of
this
those
closure,
on?
you know, you always need one, but you can get different sizes.
This is for the front, isn't it?
This is just for
Is
the
it just
front,
kind of
but-
padding it out and just sort of styling out? Then that's what you.
And again, the great thing is you can part it in any direction and really get some versatile
We need to get
style.
Michelle.
If we
on
looked
this
on your
journey.
makeup table, actually, would you, is hair products and all, you know, the hairpiece a real big part of you?
Oh God, 100%. I mean, God, my cabinet is just overflowing.
That's
I
what
wanna
was looking
see.
for,
Yeah.
cabinet.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, so
sure.
you've got a few different uses for your toothbrush as well. So let's talk about that.
Yes. So another thing that I'll pass these along. You guys heard of edge tamers?
Yeah.
So these are popular in that we use it to gel down the hairline.
The baby hairs and
The
stuff.
baby hairs.
I'm hoping I'm
Right.
okay to just sort of get my finger into
Yeah,
that. Sorry.
you can too.
Oh, that's what's
I mean,
great.
it's great because it's not messy at all. I mean, that's some serious.
Yeah,
Have a
what's
look,
this
have a look,
work?
let's
And
have a
is that what you use to apply it and just
This very
work it
special high-tech tool.
Have the products
is
become
what you
better?
use. Brands have improved their formulas over time. I think earlier you were talking about natural hair, and for the past decade there's been an explosion with the natural hair movement, which is a major thing in our community, whereby people are looking to use more organic, natural ingredients, and it's taken some time, but brands are now responding to that, where, for instance, you can get shampoos that are sulfate-free, doesn't have certain ingredients that can coat the hair or dry it out. So there's been a vast
I think there's a lot of people
improvement.
that share the same views and think about some of the things that we've just discussed here today, and let's all work together, guys. Comment below.
No, it's
how
fantastic.
we
Look,
can
honestly,
improve
and just to
things.
bring it to an end, I could sit and talk about this subject. But I think we can maybe get Jemima back more. Do you
Yeah,
reckon
I'd
we
love
get
to,
her maybe?
honestly.
I quite like her on our desk.
I know, we
I
can.
quite like her.
I've got one
I think we've got
quick
room
fire
here.
question for you. Quick answer. If you could invent anything, or if you could see that there's any gap in the market for Afro hair, what would it be?
Oh, I've got a couple. So this is a personal one to me. Man, oh, if someone could invent something that could just grow your hair, done.
Yeah.
Man,
Grow it long.
I've got a bleeper in my back pocket. As soon as it's invented, it's bleeping.
So that's number one.
That's number one. Another one I would have to actually say is like a relaxer that you can wash in, wash out.
That's interesting.
So, yeah, you kind of put in your hair.
Semi-perm.
A semi-perm, yeah, and it softens the curl, and you can wear your hair straight, and then wash it again, and you're back to curly.
You better patent that, because that's coming out.
It could be a bit of a struggle now.
Yes.
It's maybe out there.
Now.
But look, Jemima, thank you so much for
you.
coming
Oh,
on.
thanks
It's
for
been
having
me.
a joy to have you here. Really, as I say, could talk about it more, but we are going to bring you on as a non-hairdresser to do the style challenge shortly. So we are going to see you before we go. But thank you for bringing
Thank you so much.
your knowledge.
I can't wait to see what you do with the toothbrush and the mannequin.
Wonderful.
Thank you.